speaking with the GTA's Pakistani community as the country experiences its worst flooding in history.
We all, like family members who are outside, want to send some money to them or to help them.
More than 1,000 people have died, millions more displaced. The impact on those here who have loved ones back home. Plus,
we make up at least a third, sometimes up to 50% of our revenue on the Labor Day weekend. We're looking at big numbers.
it's the final weekend to go to the X, and organizers are expecting huge numbers to propel them to a record-setting year. And
he's pretty desperate. He had a gun to his head.
Well, they're under enormous pressure.
A former SIU director weighs in on the chilling audio recording of a police confrontation that left an 18-month-old boy dead and 3 OPP officers now charged with manslaughter. Good evening. I'm Kelda Yoon. Pakistan is experiencing its worst floods in history, fueled by the climate crisis. More than 1,000 people have died so far, many of them children. Millions more have been displaced, their homes washed away by the unrelenting waters. Here in the GTA, members of the Pakistani community have been watching the devastation closely, desperate to help. But as Dale Manukduk reports, they are finding it hard to do so.
Sometimes when I sit on the table and put food in front of me, my heart bleeds. My people are dying. I have no food.
72-year-old Noor Jatoy from Oakville came to Canada in 2001. Most of her family is still in Pakistan, in the province of Sindh. They send her videos of her village Mehar and the surrounding areas. Here is the army providing food and supplies to locals, and a helicopter sent to take people to safety.
We all are agriculture people. We are not any city, we have factories or this and that. We have just what we put, it's a rice crop time.
And now she says it's all gone, along with the many homes submerged underwater. She blames the government for failing to put in necessary infrastructure to protect the people.
Because they knew that the rain was coming, but they had made no efforts whatsoever to, see those bonds are strong or to put more mud.
She's also finding it hard to help. Her nephew sent her this voice message.
And now, the government is also making it hard for people like us who are trying to help our areas, for their friends and family to send them any remittances or money from abroad.
So many funds my friends, family sent was sent back.
Please help us to help others. May Allah protect you, family, health and wealth. Feed you from the food of Jannah and quench your thirst from Hawd al-Kawthar ya Rabb. Ameen.
Imam Allah El Sayed is flying there in 2 weeks to provide and deliver humanitarian relief.
Working with the community for over 30 years, and they're very close to my heart. And this trip means a lot to me because it really does hit home. And these are the brothers and sisters I grew up with, and these are the people that have been really good to me. And they've taken me into their homes, and it's time to rebuild their homes.
El Sayed says he'll be working with local agencies, but not the government in Pakistan. Dale Manukduk, CBC News, Oakville.
Police are reminding drivers to be safe on the roads this weekend. They say there has been a significant increase in preventable road deaths this year, with off-road vehicle deaths also way up.
We've seen a lot of increases of traffic volumes all across the GTA and really across the province, as we're getting back into kind of some normalcy. But this weekend, obviously, officers are going to be out making sure drivers are doing their part.
Schmidt says OPP have responded to more than 200 road collisions so far this year, with 229 deaths. They are warning motorists to be patient and slow down while enjoying these last few days of summer. And it's the final weekend to head to the CNE. Already, organizers are saying this year has been a big success, something the X needed after missing the past 2 years because of the pandemic. And as Greg Ross tells us, organizers are hoping to close it out with some record-setting numbers.
We're already over 1 million people, over 10% increase in comparison to 2019.
CNE CEO Darryl Brown was hoping for and expecting big numbers for the return of the X this year, and he says people have delivered.
There was nothing to do in 2 years, so everybody's out and enjoying nice weather.
It seems people are making up for lost time after the CNE took a 2-year hiatus during the pandemic, with big crowds daily throughout the first 2 weeks.
We are excited to be here, back for a Toronto tradition. And what are the best parts, guys?
The rides.
Things could get even better by the end of the Labor Day weekend, which is typically when the CNE is at its busiest.
We make up at least a third, sometimes up to 50% of our revenue on the Labor Day weekend. So we're looking at big numbers if it keeps on the way, the weather cooperates and everybody comes out.
People aren't just showing up, they're also spending a lot more money than in past years, which is good news for vendors.
Jam-packed, you can't pass, I can't go to the bathroom there, it's jammed. It was a bit overwhelming, yeah. Yesterday was a super day.
You talk to our vendors and some are saying that they're 100% up, 40% up over what the norm is. So it's every individual seems to be spending more money. The Midway, North American Midway, way up, maybe close to 40% more than they normally would. They may set a record this year.
They're the kinds of numbers that Brown hopes will help when he begins negotiations on a new contract with the city.
I'm looking beyond Labor Day. We start negotiating with the city and X Place on a new agreement. We don't have anything in place for next year yet.
Brown says if all goes well this weekend, they expect a grand total of 1.5 million visitors to the X, which would be the highest total since 2015. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Let's go to Kim McDonald now from the Weather Network with a first look at your forecast. And Kim, the long weekend finally upon us.
Kelda, the long weekend, so much going on, so much going on. I wish I had a perfect forecast of nothing but sunshine, but unfortunately, this cold front wants to mess things up for us a little bit. It's going to be hot and humid on Saturday. Slight risk of pop-up showers or thunderstorms as that cold front moves through. Not everybody will see them, but we've got another system that's coming up from the south, and that could be a problem for Sunday and Monday. So through the overnight, temperatures are mild, 18 degrees close to the lake, a little bit cooler away from the lake. And here is a look at your morning weather. 20 degrees, mix of sun and clouds, nice way to start the day. But as I mentioned, we're likely going to see a few thunderstorms. The most severe weather will be in the east. If you're heading to a cottage, please be aware. Please have your app handy if there are any alerts like watches or warnings. In the meantime, the south and the GTA, slight risk, non-severe thunderstorms. I'll have more when I return.
All right. Thanks so much, Kim. We have more tonight on that audio of the tragic police shooting that claimed the life of an 18-month-old boy. The toddler was allegedly abducted by his father, who then led police on a high-speed chase in the Kawartha Lakes area. CBC Toronto first brought you the story yesterday. Tonight, Ali Chiasson hears from a former SIU director who gives us his insight into the recording.
First thing is this is not the beginning of the dispatches, obviously, right?
In the audio clip that CBC obtained, William Shapiro was already driving upwards of 144 kilometers an hour. Police were pursuing his truck after he allegedly abducted his 18-month-old son, Jameson. How it escalated into a chase, former SIU director Howard Morton says, we just don't know.
I would think there's a very strong argument that the high-speed chase was justified.
This week, the SIU charged 3 OPP officers with manslaughter and criminal negligence for the child being shot and killed in the police takedown of his father.
I don't think it's going to help on which officers actually killed the child and the father.
It really seems like so much happens so fast. We don't usually get a glimpse into these high-stakes situations that officers encounter.
Well, they're under enormous pressure. However, that's what their training is for, right? Is how do you deal with this pressure causing the least amount of harm to anyone?
The 12-minute audio recording sets the scene of a desperate situation.
He's pretty desperate. He had a gun to his head.
Morton says the court case will review issues like use of force and whether all efforts were exhausted to de-escalate the situation.
Phone number, I've got a negotiator on standby to contact him.
And another key question from Howard, was enough care taken to ensure that Jameson wouldn't be shot, even amid the chaos of a car crash and an injured officer?
Officer down, officer down.
This was obviously a huge emergency, no matter which way it was going to go, right? I mean, it doesn't get much worse than this. Guy with a gun and a baby in the car.
The 3 OPP officers facing manslaughter charges will appear in court in October. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
An Etobicoke father of 2 says he's lucky to be alive after a road rage incident that left him severely injured. The injuries mean he won't be able to work for months, something his wife says was all he could think about after the attack.
First things out of his mouth, other than the pain and screaming, was like, we're in so much trouble. Like, what am I going to do? I can't work. And I mean, obviously in the moment I'm telling him, like, you're here, you're alive, let's just deal with right now. And he's like, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And
Justin Smith is a full-time letter carrier and part-time Uber driver and is the primary breadwinner for his family. Last Friday, he was leaving a plaza near Kipling and Dixon when he noticed a driver parked in a fire route. Now, Smith told the person to move his car, then headed home. The driver, though, followed Smith back to his apartment building, and as Smith was trying to enter the building on foot, the driver ran him down and then took off. Police say surveillance video shows a man was driving the car with a woman in the passenger seat. Smith is set to undergo surgery in the next couple of weeks. He says doctors tell him it will be at least 9 months until he is able to work again. Police in York Region are searching for a driver after a fatal hit and run in Richmond Hill. A woman was struck and killed last night at an intersection near Major Mackenzie and Yonge. As Meg Roberts reports, some residents in the area say it was only a matter of time before someone got hurt.
Police say a 26-year-old woman was hit at this intersection last night at Major Mackenzie Drive and Cedar Avenue. Police say when they arrived on scene, the woman was in life-threatening condition. She was transported to a trauma center and later died in hospital. Police say they are looking for the driver of that vehicle who fled the scene immediately.
We are trying to send a message out to the suspect driver to please contact their legal lawyer for some counsel and to turn themselves in so that we can find out, about this tragedy that occurred last night.
Police are looking for the driver of a 2009 to 2011 black Honda Civic with a loud exhaust. It was traveling eastbound on Major Mackenzie. Police say the car only had its running lights on at the time of the crash and that the car will have damage to its windshield. Although the road is now reopened, some nearby residents say they don't feel safe crossing. Saya Rumbren walks her dog through the intersection twice a day.
I'm so scared because the people don't care about the red light. They just pass it so bad, so fast. And then this happened, it really scared me.
Danny Partovi fears for the safety of his daughters who also cross the intersection regularly.
People don't pay attention when how they drive. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am worried for my kids, actually.
York police say residents witnessing any type of trend with unsafe driving habits should report those incidents to the police. Police are also asking anyone with dash cam footage or other information about the incident to come forward. Meg Roberts, CBC News, Richmond Hill.
Welcome back. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board August sales were up from July as buyers returned to the market to take advantage of easing prices. The board says there were just over 5,600 homes sold in August. In July, that number was 4,900. That's a 15% increase in sales, but it's still down sharply from the more than 8,500 homes that were sold in August of last year. Now, the average selling price for all home types combined was just over $1 million.
I mean, 1 month doesn't make a trend, but certainly, the transition from July to August, was different from what we've seen over the past, say, 3 or 4 months. And so, it remains to be seen as we move into the fall market if we continue to see an uptick in sales. But, oftentimes when you do see an interest rate tightening cycle, it can take a year to a year and a half for that to have its full impact on the marketplace. But you will start to see people, come to terms with it and move back into the market, within that time frame.
Experts say they expect home sales through the rest of this year to remain lower than in 2021, which was a record sales year. We want to take you now inside one of the province's private surgery clinics. It's a type of healthcare the Ontario government says it wants to do more of. That's with an aim to clear backlogs as surgery wait times are up and hospitals are overwhelmed. Lorena Redicott has more.
So I go there? Okay.
Step one for a patient at the Kensington Eye Institute. They mainly do cataract surgeries and are proud of their efficiency.
The average time is approximately 76 minutes from when they register to when they walk out.
It's the only Ontario private clinic that's also not for profit. They do 12,000 eye procedures a year with capacity for more. They have a partnership with some hospitals.
So that then they can focus on the more complex, more acute space. It doesn't make sense to take up, expensive hospital resources on very, very routine procedures.
The government wants to move more simple procedures out of hospital into private clinics and insists you won't be charged.
Healthcare will continue to be provided to the people of Ontario through the use of your OHIP card.
This health policy professor says these clinics can be more efficient, but worries about costs, especially with for-profit clinics.
Laboratory tests are covered inside a hospital, but don't necessarily have to be outside. Physiotherapy does not have to be covered if it's not inside a hospital. Pharmaceuticals.
The government has also repeatedly talked about a private, for-profit hospital as a model to emulate. Shouldice, open since the 1940s, before Medicare existed.
You have a hernia issue, you're going to Shouldice.
It's specialized in hernia repair. Free for Ontario residents, others pay thousands of dollars. The hospital's managing director says they do 20 times the hernia procedures as public hospitals, with a way shorter waiting time and no fees for other services, such as food or medication. Back at Kensington, they'd like to do more cataract surgeries and are building a 6th operating room. There's also a separate area for screening procedures, endoscopies and colonoscopies. They also want to do more of those, hoping to do more to help clear long wait times and play a role in the changes coming to health care. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
And you are looking at a live shot of the Toronto skyline, mainly clear tonight with a few clouds moving in overnight. Currently, it is 22 degrees in the city. Let's go back to Kim McDonald now with a more detailed look at your forecast. And Kim, not a washout, but we can expect some showers this weekend.
Not a write-off of a weekend by any stretch, but we do have to pay attention to this front that's moving through. So along it, we've been seeing thunderstorms all along, so we could have a few more in and around the GTA for Saturday, although we're not talking about a washout of a day by any stretch. For the most part, it's going to be dry. 29 degrees is our forecast high, feeling like 36. I think for most of the day, it's going to be pretty good. If you're heading to the X, for example, should be fine, just hot. Lots of water, right? 23.4 is normal, so we're way above normal, and the sun is setting at 7:49, which is getting a little earlier, isn't it? So here we go, Saturday afternoon, 29 degrees in Toronto. We see a lot of icons with those thunderstorms, but again, hit and miss, isolated storms, feeling like the mid-30s in Toronto, a little warmer in Oakville, feeling like 37. Here's a look at Sunday. So there is a system coming up from the south. We could start to see some showers by Sunday afternoon. And again, the models are in a bit of disagreement on this, but Sunday looks unsettled, and it's certainly going to be cooler because that cold front is a leading edge of cooler air. And that's why it clashes with this hot, steamy air mass that we've got going on. And then we bring the thunderstorms and the cooler temperatures. So there's Sunday's forecast, 22 for a high. Again, not great weather, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to the air show, so hopefully the timing works out. Monday, a few lingering showers as well, 21 degrees, and then back to school. 23 degrees on Tuesday, 25 on Wednesday. So again, lingering showers on Tuesday, and then the forecast improves dramatically, of course, once we're beyond the next 3 days, which seems kind of unfair. So yes, 3 days ahead, little unsettled. Same goes for cottage country. Saturday will be hot, Sunday cooler.
NASA will make another attempt at launching Artemis 1 tomorrow. The historic mission to the moon was grounded on Monday due to an engine problem. The launch is scheduled for 2:17 p.m. Eastern Time. However, if there are weather or technical issues, the liftoff can be pushed back by as much as 2 hours. The rocket and the uncrewed Orion orbiter are part of NASA's planned return to the moon called the Artemis program. This mission will see the spacecraft orbit the moon for 42 days. And finally tonight, with an aim to tackle stereotypes and support each other in the Black community, the Black Menswear Flash Mob will be getting together in Toronto tomorrow, decked out in their best attire. Now, we caught up with the group's founder to find out more about what's in store.
You got to have a jacket on. That is one of the... You don't have to have a full suit. You just got to have a jacket, right? So that's the point of it.
50 told me, go ahead, switch the style up, and if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up.
My name is Neandre Broussard. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Menswear. I'm excited to be here at Toronto at City Hall, where we are going to have a flash mob tomorrow morning. Promptly 10 o'clock, we're looking to bring out hundreds of Black men together to show unity, to network, to amplify their businesses and their efforts that they're doing in the communities, all in one spot tomorrow for the flash mob. The biggest point of the flash mob is really a collective unit to amplify the positivity within the Black male community. A lot of times the media showcases our community in a negative light, and so we're taking this opportunity to build our platform that's all about positive representation, positive imagery, and positive uplift of our Black male community. This is our 4th international stop, right? And so all over the United States, we've gone to Ghana, we've gone to Paris, we've gone to London. Everywhere we go, the reaction is the same. It's always such warm positivity. I love what this is. Tell me more. And that's really why we use the approach we use from the suits perspective, because it allows more people that are outside of the community to want to understand and tap in. And that gives us an opportunity to really amplify ourselves, even to our next generation, that there are positive aspects of our community that need to be shown, and we're using our platform to do that, so that way we can push that out. To join in tomorrow, go to blackmenswear.com/flashmob. So anyone that wants to join, it's not too late. Or if it gets last minute, just pull up. We'll be here at 10. We will be gone by 12 o'clock, so don't come late thinking that you will miss the entire show if you're not here by then.
And that is our show for you tonight and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. Shannon Martin has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. And we'll leave you now with these pictures of our city from above as the air show returns to the CNE this weekend. Have a great night, everyone.